There are a few decks that exist, but the real question is what is the best one? Now, I think that my subjective opinion on this matter is not going to be anywhere near correct, so I'm going to use the closest thing to a correct opinion that there is, the Limitless page. And I'm going to be going over the top 10 decks. But first, we gotta go over the honorable mentions, and by honorable mentions, I mean the worst ones. First, Dragapult. It's last place. It's number 1. Like, that's the lowest number out of all of them. Like, all it can do is use Phantom Dive, which only does 200 damage, and then it can only do 60 damage to the bench, which is just insane. Like, that's nothing. And then Dusknoir has to knock itself out to do anything. Then Badoo only has 30 health. Like, it's just not a good deck. And then the second one is Gardevoir, which it does 190 damage, which is somehow less than Dragapult. And then Lilith Clefairy, that just beats Dragapult, and Dragapult's number 1. Then Screamtail, like, it only does 260 to the bench. Like, that's not a lot. And then Frillish does 20 damage. Like, that's not that much damage. And then Marnie's Grimmsnarl, like, it has Shadow Bullet. It does 30 damage to the bench. And that's just not a lot. And 4 Monkey Dory, they can only do 30 damage. Like, that's so little. And Goldengo. Alright, I can't say anything negative about Solrock. It's Solrock. But Goldengo itself, throw a Cornerstone on the board, what's it gonna do? Same goes for Enzorwork, and I honestly don't know how the deck works anyway, so I can't give further explanation. So, now for the top 10 list. Alright, 10th best at 27, tied with Ethan's Typhlosion, is Ho-Oh Armarouge. This deck is interesting. As we can see here, Ho-Oh can attach 2 basic fire energy from your hand to the benched Ethan's Pokemon. So in other words, just itself, because this is basically Terrabox, but better, because Terrabox, like, if we look back at the list, it's 14, which is, like, that's decent, but it's nowhere near Ho-Oh Armarouge at 27. As we can see here, Armarouge, as often as you like, move a basic fire energy, or any fire energy, from your bench Pokemon to your active. Prism energy counts as fire energy, by the way, and so does Legacy energy, so that's why that's there most of the time. And it's just Terrabox, but better, because, yeah, Armarouge. And as you can see here, you can just move your energy to all these Pokemon to attack instantly. And there's definitely no downsides like getting knocked out and having to get set up all over again. That is simply not an issue. Next up is Poison Box, a deck that only one person has ever used, ever, and yet it's so good that it's in 9th place. There's 2 Badoo and 2 Frillish for item locking, of course, staples. And then there's the classic Brute Bonnet Toxic Powder for that poison, and Cloth, just because. Then Dangerous Reaction, if it's affected by special condition, does 120 more. And of course, Booster Energy and stuff like that. There's also some Binding Mochi. I think this is meant to donk, but I'm honestly not too sure. Next is Future, because this deck is going to be very good in the future. Cobalt Command makes your future Pokemon do 20 more damage. And of course, Peak Acceleration, because this deck is Peak. And you got the Amp You Very Much, an absolute classic, and Iron Thorns to ability lock. And then Iron Leaves, I honestly have no clue what this is meant to do. I guess, like, it could target weaknesses of dark types, but I don't know what else that's for. I don't think that would add an entire Pokemon just to target dark types. And so then there's also Mew and Lily Clefairy, just because, yeah. Then Cynthia's Garchomp. Now, I think this deserves a lower placement, because, like, look at this. 260, and then Roserade makes everything do 30 more, and it stacks. You can do, like, 300, and then with Premium Power Pro, that's, like, 330, nothing. And so, yeah. There's not much explaining to do. There's also Raging Curse to just do as much damage as one of your Cynthia's Pokemon has taken. But yeah, I think it deserves to be like 19th or 20th. Like, there's probably just some hidden flaw that I'm not seeing, but this looks really good. Next is Ogre Pawn Box, tied with Cynthia's Garchomp. And it's a box that has Ogre Pawn. There's also this Koraidon. What does this even do? Of course, a certified Hood Classic, Team Rocket Mimikyu, to beat up Dragapult with the help of Lily Clefairy. There's Paldean Tauros. What is this even for? We already have a Goldengo counter. And of course, there's Ogre Pawn and Ogre Pawn. And there's also Lily Clefairy. But yeah, this is kind of like Terra Box. Honestly, I don't really get why there's so many boxes that involve Terras. And now we're halfway with number 5, Ethan's Magcargo. 4 Ho-Oh, and look at this. Discard up to 5 energy from this Pokemon. That does up to 350. And if you have if you have 2 Ho-Ohs and attach from hand to one of them, you can get that much energy in one turn, which is just great. Then Rallying Horn can do 170 if you were knocked out last turn, which is enough for some KOs. And yeah, that's really it. There's no other Pokemon in the deck except Support and Blood Moon. And Blood Moon is just kind of there. Then there's Ethan's Sharpedo, which is a Sharpedo. Wait, did I say Ethan's Sharpedo? No, Mega Sharpedo. Hungry Jaws does 270 if it's taken damage. And with the help of Toxtricity that damages you if you attach an energy with it, it definitely takes damage. Then there's Yveltal, because Yveltal. And of course, Pecharunt for that free retreat. And that is really it. There's also Seviper, I guess. It's just kind of there. Then there's Team Rocket's Mewtwo. This deck is going to go a lot lower on the list after rotation. If we go into the online leaderboard, we can see Team Rocket's Mewtwo is number 8. Very low number, terrible deck. Power Saver, you can't use this unless you have 4 Team Rocket's Pokemon. Erasure Ball does up to 280 if you discard 2 energy, which is a decent number. And then there's Spidops. Rocket Rush does up to 150, and once during your turn you can attach a basic energy from your discard pile to it. So, depending on the matchup, you could just win games with Spidops alone. Articuno also fully counters Alakazam, and Mimikyu beats up Dragapult sometimes, and also Cornerstone, because look at this, these all have abilities. And there's just a lot of Team Rocket supporters also, and yeah. And we're already at second place. Mewtwo was on the podium, but I didn't want to acknowledge it. Second place, Toxtricity, Sinister Surge. And I have no clue how this works. So there's 3 Monkey, I guess, to move damage. Then there's Mega Absol and Mega Lopunny. And I guess that's just it. Like, I don't understand this at all. I just don't get it. And number 1 is Conkeldurr. Everyone should have seen this coming. Conkeldurr is just the best deck to ever exist. It's got the highest number, it's got to be the best deck. So as we can see here, if it's affected by a special condition, ignore all energy in this attack's cost. So to do that, people use Brute Bonnet, which does essentially mean this deck is going to rotate because Brute Bonnet's going to rotate. So that's a bit unfortunate. I think people will be able to last at least 5 seconds without this legend. The enriching energy is also there because why not? You technically don't even need energy to attack because if it's affected by a special condition, ignore all energy, so you just don't even need energy. But yeah, energy's there because 3 retreat cost. And Blood Moon's also there because why not? And that was the definitive list of the best decks in the Ascended Heroes format. Wait, what's that? A higher number means it's worse? Alright, so that was the list of the top 10 worst decks right now. Thank you for watching.